Hello, welcome to Microsoft Excel. So this is the first Microsoft Excel masterclass whereby we are going to learn introduction and simple operations. So first let me introduce to you Microsoft Excel. What is Microsoft Excel? Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet software that is developed by the Microsoft corporation all in all. So there are different spreadsheet softwares. There is Google Sheets, there is another one known as Smart Sheets. So Microsoft Excel can be useful in a lot of cases. One, it can be used in recording, it can be used in analysis. One can also write a report by incorporating visualizations using Microsoft Excel. So in this first masterclass, basically we are going to learn like what Microsoft Excel is and the simple operations that one can use within the Microsoft Excel software. So first of all, let me start with showing you the parts. I hope you're able to see my cursor. Let me just confirm if you're able to see my cursor. So I have a picture here that I downloaded from a specific site. I'll explain it as we go forward. So basically this is a summary of the different parts of Microsoft Excel. Let me just go back to the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet first. You see, it is made up of rows and columns. Columns run from up and down and they are denoted by letters A, B, C, D, etc. And then rows run from left to right and they are denoted by numbers going down. So when you select a particular cell, the cell are these tiny boxes that the box that is an intersection between the rows and the columns. So when you select a specific cell, it is denoted by first the column, then the row. So that means that, for example, this one that we have selected, that is C2, and you can see it here, C2. And when you select a range of cells, for example, you can see it is denoted I've selected 5R times 3C. That means that I've selected 5 rows and 3 columns. So let us go right ahead to the different parts within the Microsoft Excel. So basically down here, I hope you can be able to see my cursor. It's written sheet 1. These can be renamed. This is the active sheet that you are working on. To rename it, you can just right click and choose the option rename, and then you can rename with the name that you'd want to rename with. And also you can also change the color of that active sheet, the tab color of that specific active sheet. It makes the work more lucrative, more organized, and etc. And for you to add a new sheet, you'll click on the plus sign. That is the new sheet option. Now let's go back. So that's the active sheet. I've showed you the row and the column bar. So this is the row bar. Rows run basically columns run from up to down, such that when you select, for example, when you take your cursor to a specific column and then you see that arrow, then you click on it, it selects the whole column running from up to down, while rows, they run from the left to right or right to left. So let's go back. Then I've showed you what a cell is. A cell, basically, in a layman's language, it is the intersection between a row and a column. So that box, basically, that's a cell. And then this is the title bar, book 1 Excel. So for example, this one is book 1 Excel. If we save this file, we'll come to save as. then you can opt to, you can go to that specific directory in which you want to save it. For example, I want to save it in the desktop, and then I want to rename it Excel tutorial introduction, or Excel tutorial, just like that. You can save it with different formats, right from Excel workbook and all those formats that are listed there. So for us, we're just going to save it as an Excel workbook because that's what I'm going to deal with. You can see that the title bar has changed its name from book 1 to Excel tutorial to that name that you have saved with. Then let's go to other parts. Now, here is where you enter the formula. You see here fx, you can insert a function or a formula in here. And then this is the ribbon. You see, I hope you're able to see my cursor. Yeah, you see this highlight, this whole highlight here is the ribbon. You can choose to hide it by clicking this. You can choose to collapse the ribbon or hide it by either using these shortcuts that you'll be given, Ctrl plus F1, or just clicking this arrow. It hides the ribbon, you see. And for you to unhide the ribbon, or for you to make the ribbon visible, you click to one of the menu, then front, then you come back there and you pin the ribbon. Yeah, so that's how you do it. And then down here is where you can zoom. Let me just move this a bit so that I show you. Down here is where you can zoom. You can either zoom in or zoom out, You can either zoom in, see, or you can either zoom out. So here is where the zoom is, basically. And then there are also scroll bars. There's this down here. Okay, you can move even past V, see? And then you can scroll, basically. So there's this down scroll bar, and then there is also this one, which works the same. You can move like down and then scroll. Suppose you have a massive data that goes for thousands and thousands of rows and maybe hundreds and hundreds of columns. You'll be scrolling using these scroll bars. And then another part. So there's some parts that you'll be learning as we go along. For example, this dialog. Let me first return my camera here. For example, this dialog box launcher. When we go back to our Excel, basically it brings more functionalities within that dialog menu. For example, this one is basically the font, the size, and etc. So and the border fill, and basically these options that you're seeing here. So for example, let me just give you an example. Let me just enter name, then age. So imagine you're a teacher and you're recording the names of students and their ages. So I'm just gonna pick random names. David Otieno, Nashon Okwama, that's my name. Stephen Obo. Now for you to drag this column so as it fits this name, you just take your cursor in between the two columns A and B. You left click and then you hold, and then you just drag like that. See? So that's one of the options. You can as well just select all like that, and then you come to this option of wrap text. You'll choose that option, wrap text. See? And it won't have that illusion as if it has wrapped to the next cell, all in all. Yeah, so that's the function of wrap. Though for me, what I normally love is like you go and highlight the whole column, and then after highlighting you left click. While left clicking, you drag to the next column, then you bring your cursor in between until it brings this cross, and then you just double left click. It automatically shifts the words in the cell to its length, etc. So let's go to age. So David Otieno, let's say he's 10 years. These are just random ages. Let's say, let me just take 26, and then Stephen Obo, let me take 25. So we were learning about basically this functionality. I was telling you how this button down here, you see under font, under alignment, under number, yeah, basically it brings more functionalities within the ones that have been highlighted there. See, like the font, the border, fill, and etc. So for example, under name, age, having that it's the title, we want to highlight them. So you'll come here and then choose the color that we want to highlight them with, for example like that. See? And then we also want to make them bold, so we'll just come here and then make them bold. So basically you can just go around and play with these functionalities, you know. And if you want to put a specific border, for example, you can just come here. There's an option here of borders, but you can as well select and then go to border and then choose a specific one that you want to use. For example, I want to put these bold, somehow bold border around the whole, you know, the whole data that I've just inputted there. And then I click OK. See, it comes up very well, very nicely, and you know, just like that basically. Now let me just clear everything. So that is how basically you can play around with Excel and with these functionalities. The more you use it, the more you'll understand each and every functionality. But don't worry, the more the videos, the more I'll be able to use these functionalities, and the more you'll be able to understand what each and every tool does and how it's used practically, you know, within Excel. Yeah, so I think I've finished basically the naming the whole parts. And for the ones that I haven't finished yet, we'll just go back. Of course, this one is minimizing, then maximizing the window. This one is hiding, then, you know, etc, etc. Yeah. So that's it for the naming part. Now, after that, you are going to basically understanding simple operations in Excel. So I'm going to look for data, and then we are going to learn like different functions like the sum, the average, the count, and then how to copy paste the cells, and then this formatting, and how to save your work. In as much as I've shown you how to save a workbook, I'm still going to show you like you can save an Excel file not only as a workbook but also like as other formats. For example, let me just scroll to a specific directory. You see, we saved it as an Excel workbook. You can still save it as an Excel macro enabled workbook, and you know, all these other formats. for example, if you've written like a report and you want to print it out, you can save it as a PDF, or you can print it out directly from Excel. For that, I'm gonna also show you how to save different formats, just as we proceed. So thank you very much for now. For the next video, I'm going to show you now the simple operations, that is the sum, the average, the count, and etc.